Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Have you ever wondered why there are two main groups in Islam called Sunnis and Shias, and what actually separates them? Because from the outside they all seem almost identical. They believe in the same God, follow the same Prophet, and read the same Quran. So what really caused the divide? Why has it lasted for over 1,400 years, and is it really as big as people think? To truly understand this, we have to go back to the very beginning, to a moment in history that didn't just shape Islam but changed the course of millions of lives forever. The division between Sunnis and Shias began after the death of the Prophet Muhammad in the year 632 CE. This was an extremely emotional and uncertain time for the Muslim community. The Prophet was not just a religious leader, he was also a judge, a guide, and the unifying figure of the entire Muslims. When he passed away, the Muslim community was suddenly faced with the critical question: who should lead after him? This question wasn't just about power, it was about responsibility, unity, and the future of Islam itself. One group of companions believed that the leader should be chosen through consultation among the community. They supported Abu Bakr, one of the Prophet's closest companions and a man known for his wisdom, loyalty, and strong character. He was eventually chosen as the first caliph. This group later became known as the Sunnis, from the word Sunnah, meaning the way or example of the Prophet. However, another group believed something different. They believed that the leadership should remain within the family of the Prophet. They supported Ali ibn Abi Talib, the Prophet's cousin, son-in-law, and someone who had been raised closely under his guidance, as the rightful successor. This group became known as Shias, meaning the party of Ali. At this point, it's important to understand something. This was not originally a split in religion, but a disagreement about leadership. But over time, that disagreement grew into something much deeper. After Abu Bakr became caliph, he ruled for a short period before passing away. He was followed by Umar ibn al-Khattab, then Uthman ibn Affan, and then finally Ali ibn Abi Talib. Sunnis refer to these four leaders as the rightly guided caliphs, and they believe in each one played an important role in preserving and spreading Islam. However, during this period, tensions began to grow. Political disagreements, internal conflicts, and questions about leadership continued to create divisions. The most significant turning point came during the time of Ali's leadership. His rule was marked by conflict, including civil wars within the Muslim community. These events deepened the divide between those who supported him and those who had different views on leadership and authority. After Ali's death, the division became even more defined. One of the most important and emotional events in Islamic history, especially for Shia Muslims, is the Battle of Karbala. This took place in the year 680 CE. Imam Hussein, the grandson of the Prophet Muhammad and the son of Ali, stood against the rule of Yazid, a leader many believed it was unjust. Hussein refused to pledge allegiance because he believed it went against the true values of Islam. He, along with a small group of family members and supporters, were surrounded in the desert of Karbala. They were heavily outnumbered, and tragically, Imam Hussein and his companions were killed. For Shia Muslims, this event is not just history, it is a symbol of standing up against injustice, no matter the cost. It represents sacrifice, courage, and faith. Every single year during the day of Ashura, Shia Muslims remember this event with deep reflection and mourning. Sunnis also respect Imam Hussein greatly, but they commemorate the event in a different way, focusing more on fasting and reflection rather than mourning rituals. Now, here's something many people don't realize. Despite the historical conflicts and differences, Sunnis and Shias share the vast majority of their beliefs. Both believe in one God, Allah, the Quran as the final revelation, Prophet Muhammad as the last messenger, the Day of Judgment, angels and divine decree. Both also follow the 5 pillars of Islam: Shahada, faith; Salah, prayer; Zakat, charity; Saum, fasting in Islam; Ramadan, Hajj, pilgrimage. So at their core, they are united in the fundamentals of Islam. Their differences are mainly in leadership, interpretation, and certain practices. In daily life, Sunnis and Shias may practice Islam slightly differently. For example, in prayer, Sunnis usually pray 5 times a day at separate times. Shias sometimes combine certain prayers. During sujood, prostration, many Shia Muslims place their forehead on a small clay tablet called a turba. Many of you may think it's a cookie, but it's just a small clay like tablet. And Sunnis pray directly on a prayer mat or ground. There are also slight differences in wudu, ablution, the call to prayer, adhan, and certain religious rulings. However, these differences are minor compared to what they share. Over the centuries, political power struggles often made the divide between Sunnis and Shias more intense. Empires, rulers, and governments sometimes use these differences for their own interests. In modern times, conflicts in certain regions are often Sunni versus Shia, but in reality, they are usually influenced by politics, power, and geography, not just religion. It's important not to oversimplify or assume that all Sunnis and Shias are in conflict, because that's not true. In many parts of the world, including places like the United Kingdom, Sunnis and Shias live side by side peacefully. They go to school together, work together, and share the same communities. Many scholars from both sides emphasize unity and remind Muslims that they are part of one ummah. Islam teaches justice, respect, and brotherhood, values that go beyond any. So, in the end, the difference between Sunnis and Shias isn't about two completely different religions. It's about history, leadership, and interpretation. And understanding these differences shouldn't divide us, it should increase our knowledge, awareness, and respect for one another. Because at the core, Islam teaches unity, justice, and peace. Jazakallah al-Hafiz.